Good morning, welcome to Furry and Spoilt. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to deal with a spoilt dog. People talk to me about this a lot, but they always feel that they're really awkward about talking about it because they're feeling guilty because they're actually feeling like they don't like their dog very much. Their dog annoys them, they regret getting the dog. The thing is, if you've got a dog that has got challenging behaviours, there is nothing wrong with feeling those ways about it. Don't give yourself a hard time about it. It's completely natural. If you've got a dog that's making your life hard, that you might regret getting him. You might find him annoying. Harry here, I believe that some dogs are born and they're just that kind of dog that always needs attention, wants to be spoiled or have tantrums if he doesn't get his own way. Harry is one of those dogs, and that's why I have put things in place to make sure that I'm on top of it all the time. And sometimes I slip up and his spoiled behaviour seeps through. So I've got 3 dogs, all treated the same. The other 2 have never shown any signs of it. But Harry does. He shows signs of being a bit of a brat at times, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to go through with you the signs of it, signs that your dog is spoiled, and then how I got over it. Right, so I'm just going to go over with you. So there's been quite a few dogs that I've helped over the years with this problem. And then, like I said, I've got my own Harry. So this is Albert here. He's the least, couldn't care less about being spoiled. He is spoiled, but he just gets on with his life. So let me tell you. So for me, in no particular order, my signs that a dog is spoiled is if they're whining and they're demanding. And one thing that I see so often is with spoiled dogs is if they have a ball or a toy and they want that ball or toy thrown, and they will keep bringing it to you. And then if anybody comes to visit your house, they will keep bringing it to them. And it's really irritating because you can't do anything. It's really annoying. That's a sign. So taking that ball away is vital. Just take the ball away. Maybe let him have it for short periods of time. But what I did was, Harry's classic for this, absolute classic for this. He will try it every now and again. He'll push his luck. If he brings a toy to me or a ball to throw, I will immediately pick it up and put it in my pocket, and he doesn't get it immediately, and it just stops it. Because if I didn't, he would go on to keep bringing that to me and to any guests, and it's just annoying. The other thing is ignoring training. Harry, my other dog I just showed you, he is probably my best trained dog. I do a lot of training with my dogs. He's probably my best trained dog. And yet he is the one who will ignore it if it suits him. And so I really have to make sure that if I've asked him to do something, I don't give him the option of ignoring it. Things like, for example, my dogs are all perfectly house trained. They're adults. We have a garden. They're with me all the time. They're not on their own. There's no reason at all for accidents to happen. But if Harry is in one of his kind of what I call his moods, where he's sort of pushing his spoilt behaviour again, he has been known to just piddle in the house for no other reason than to just be a bit of a spoilt brat. I'm going to go through all this in a minute and help you get through it. The other thing that I've seen spoilt dogs do often is kick their owner to get a cuddle. So they'll be sat down next to their owner on the sofa, say, and they will kick the owner to get a cuddle. Another thing that I often see spoilt dogs do is they might generally be lower down in the pack, but I've seen them do behaviours that they shouldn't be doing. For instance, like there was one that I was asked to help, and he was running around the kitchen. There was 4 dogs in this house, all beautifully behaved, but this one dog was being a pain, whining and just really being annoying to the owners. And what he was started to do was at the end of meal times he would eat his dinner really, really fast. Then he would run around and nick some out of all the other dogs' bowls. And it's just brattish behaviour. And so I got her to slow down his eating. There's a video on that if you want to know how to do that. And absolutely, I've done a whole video on how I feed my dogs in a calm way. So I'd be very supervised over dinner time. But you see what I mean? So it's behaviours that are a bit raising himself up the pack. So that had to be stopped. This word, I think word manipulate is a big word to put with any animal. But dogs will manipulate you. I've seen them do it. There's one other dog I don't know why I'm laughing, because it's not funny, because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So lady said to me, my dog's making my life hell. He's just controlling everything. Everybody hates him. He's just, we want to get rid of him. So I went to help her, and what he was doing was, he would get, for no apparent reason, so they'd all be sat down in the evening, all sort of snuggled on the sofa or whatever. He'd get up, walk to the back door, looking like he needed to go out to go to the toilet. And then when somebody would get up, he would just walk back in, like he didn't, so just get up, they'd get up, go towards the back door. As soon as they started talking towards the back door, he'd just walk away. And I thought, I can't believe what I'm seeing. That is so horrible. It's quite controlling and so horrible. But he was doing it. And so I said to them, right, you open the door, let them out after their dinner time, and then you don't open it again in the evening. So you control when that door is open. If he's a puppy, that's a little bit risky because they need to go to the toilet so often. But this was an adult dog, and that soon stopped that behaviour. Another thing you can do if the dog is doing that and going up, and I was going to suggest this to her next, if the dog is going up to the back door and then when you get up he just walks away, I would pick the dog up if he's small enough and put him outside. That would soon stop him from doing that. That was the other thing I was going to suggest to her. This is a big thing. I've seen it often with these dogs, so we'll get them sorted out, everything's fine. And then it all starts to go wrong again. And it will be that just once the owner slipped up. Now, I get it. You're getting from work, you're tired, you just want to relax and watch some television. And if your dog brings a ball, it might just be easier sometimes to just throw it. But you throwing it just once reinforces the possibility for that dog that actually she often won't throw it for me, but if I just keep trying, she gives in. And I think in dogs that are spoiled, look at his dirty face. We've been for a muddy old walk and he's still all a bit muddy and dirty. He's not an easy dog to clean. Bless his heart. Looks homeless, doesn't he? With spoiled dogs who have that mentality, they really, really, you can't slip up. They're always watching and they're always trying. So anything, if your dog has been doing a behaviour and you've really been ignoring it, and then you just slip up once, that dog's going to remember and he will keep trying, because one day she slipped up. It's honestly, or he slipped up. That's how they work. It's so they won't give in. Right, so let's go through the solutions to these problems. First thing is, your dog isn't happy. If your dog is spoiled and he's running the house, he isn't happy. I am such a believer in the hierarchy of a pack. And I'm not going to go through that with you now because it's too long and too complicated. But if you haven't got your hierarchy of your pack sorted out in your house, your dogs are not happy, because that's how they function. And you will have such a nicer, peaceful house if you understand the dog pack hierarchy and how that works. And there's a video, I'm going to actually put that video up at the end of this video, because if you haven't got your pack mentality sorted out, nothing else really matters. But if you're spoiling your dog, if you're giving him biscuits and cups of teas and letting him have his own way all the time, your dog isn't happy, because he's not sitting in the pack. He's actually right at the top of the pack. There's a really massive chance that he doesn't want to be there. Because what I have found is that most dogs who have the mentality of spoiled behaviour aren't pack leaders. But by spoiling your dog and letting him have his own way, you are making him a pack leader, and that's a place he doesn't naturally want to be. So please remember that although it might look like your dog is happy because he's getting his own way all the time, he's not. He's actually not. And the other thing is that dogs naturally want people to like them. And if you go in someone's house and they've got this really annoying dog that won't stop putting a ball in your lap and whines at you and yappies and just and it's the whole centre of attention, so you can't have a conversation with the person you went to visit, the dog isn't happy about that either, because a dog naturally wants people to like them, and the dog would much prefer it if he could cuddle up in the guest's lap and have a cuddle instead of your guest coming and or the dog will probably end up being put away. I've seen dogs that are put away because they're just too annoying, and I'm not blaming anybody for that. Nobody wants an annoying dog around, and so the dog isn't happy. So don't. It's really, really easy to think that because you're spoiling your dog so much, he's a happy dog. And I can really see why you would think that. But please, it's not. He's not a happy dog. A happy dog is a dog that can always be with his pack. And so if he's put out of the room because he misbehaves, doesn't make him happy. So that again goes back to watch the video I'm going to put up about pack leadership. It will be so helpful. Right, energy again. I've got a video about this. Go to dog behavior. It's in there. It's about energy. Energy is everything. Energy is how you talk to your dog, and it's not science. It's true. It's a proven fact that how you feel is how your dog feels. And if your dog is really misbehaving, you're going to feel angry and frustrated, and that's just going straight to the dog, who will then get angry and frustrated. So you've really got to make sure, and it's really hard. It's really hard when you've got a dog that's just been so naughty. It's really, really important that you stay calm. And I know how hard that is, but please just stay calm and clearly give your commands and think about what's happening. And think about, if you've watched the video on pack leadership, think, are you acting like a pack leader? Nice and calm. It's really, really important. Right, and then you just judge their general needs. So has the dog had enough exercise? So every dog should be walked at least once a day for 40 minutes. Not necessarily fast walking if they're old, but they should at least be out of the house at least once a day. I'm also a massive believer in, if you've got a tired dog, then you will have a better behaved dog. And I don't think just exercise does it for dogs. All you end up doing is making your dog fitter and fitter, and therefore you've got to walk them longer and longer to get the results. So I'm a massive believer in training your dogs. Even if it's just silly little things. Or I've got some videos on indoor games, and there's a game on there where you hide things around the house with the dog. Just stuff like that. So either training them, there's a training playlist. You can train them to do different things, or there's like the indoor games you can do with them. But I'm really a massive believer in that you can't tire a dog out just from walking them. You need to use their brain. And if you've got a tired dog, you've got a much more chance of having a good dog. Diet. Now, a diet is another massively important thing, because if you're feeding your dog the wrong diet, exactly the same with children. If you fill children full of sugar, they are going to be crazy running around. Same with dogs. If you fill them with a food that's full of grains and wheats and there's no meat in it, they're going to be extra hyper. So you need to have a look at your diet. And again, I know I keep repeating myself, but I'm fanatical about dog nutrition. I've performed wonders by changing it on different dogs. And if you go to go to the playlist, go to feeding your dogs, and on there's all the videos about feeding your dogs. It's really worth. I can't just tell you here, it's too complicated, but it's really worth looking at those videos and then making an informed decision about what you're feeding your dog. And the last thing is attention. Even though your dog is craving attention, and that is the one thing that you're trying to stop from happening, they do need they do need attention from you. And so you've got to make sure that you're not just ignoring your dog and that he is getting some attention, but you must make sure that you call the dog over for attention. The dog can't come demanding it. I haven't got a problem if, like, you've got well-behaved dogs and they come wandering over and they want to cuddle. I've got no problem with that at all. I do that all day long. But if you've got a dog that is demanding and annoying, and he's demanding and annoying you, like I see a lot of dogs paw their owners with their front paws. That's demanding behaviour, and that should absolutely be ignored. But if if he comes over and he's well behaved and he's nice and he wants a cuddle, then that's absolutely fine. Or if you call him in and he has a cuddle, that's absolutely fine. But you do not want to be having behaviours where he's pawing at you, where he's kicking at you, where he's barking at you because you didn't give him the attention. Absolutely, get up and walk away. Do not be part of that. Get away, but do make sure that he is getting enough attention. So, because the thing is, if you've walked your dog, you've given your dog, or you can buy little different training balls. You can put some of their food into treats in balls, and there's all sorts of stuff you can do. If you've walked them, you've given them some kind of training thing to do. You've given them, they're fed, they're not hungry, they've got water, they're either, warm or cold. You've looked at that. There isn't really much more to it. You've looked at all of their basic needs, and that gives you a good footing. You then look at being a pack leader, understand that, look at your energy, and it's really, you should be able to sort this out. Because in some ways it is a complicated thing, and it certainly can have a horrible effect on your life. But if you just run through the checklist and just make sure that you are on top of it with every one of those things. And I can't tell you enough, ignoring the behaviour is so effective. Getting up and walking away, it gives such a clear signal to a dog that you're not going to be part of it. And the other thing I will say is, if you are the problem in that you're giving your dog biscuits, you're not taking them for a walk, you're giving them all the love, and you're just feeling like that's what you should be doing for a dog, please remember that your dog isn't happy. That isn't how your dog wants to be treated. Please remember that. And so even though you might be feeling like, yeah, I know, but he always has a biscuit at 2 o'clock, your dog shouldn't be eating your biscuits. It's not making him happy. It's making him be a brat. And I always think with a situation like this, refer back to children. Would you fill your children full of junk food and then give in to all their demands? That's just a spoilt child, and nobody enjoys being around them. Just think of it the same with your dog. And I know there are lots and lots of you out there who spoil your dog rotten. And, you know, my channel's called Furry and Spoilt. What more can I say? I do spoil my dogs, I do. But I know where the line is, and I know where I need to draw the line to make sure that they're nice animals to live with and to be around. So I hope it helped. It can be a horrible subject, but just follow through with it. You'll get it sorted out. So as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.